La familia unida jamás será vencida.
Hi, welcome to Latin Voices. I'm your co-host Stephanie Ferrer, and this is Robert Masonette.
Hey! Creator of Latin Lives, the web series and play. And today we're really happy to have somebody who I've known for quite some time, who's been such an inspiration to so many people. He is an author, a playwright, and the one of the artistic directors of BAAD. So, Mr. Charles Rice-Gonzalez. Welcome, Charles.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
So, go ahead.
Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about BAAD and what it's all about?
Sure. Well, BAAD stands for the Bronx Academy of Arts and Dance.
Mm-hmm.
It's 16 years old now. This week we'll turn 16.
Wow.
We started in Hunts Point and we moved a year ago to Westchester Square. But basically, BAAD is a performance space that presents works for women, people of color, and the LGBT community, and works that are empowering to those communities.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do it through festivals. We have festivals called Badass Women, the Boogie Down Dance Series, Out Like That, the Blacktino Performance Series, and then we also have a show that we do every year called Los Nutcrackers, a Christmas Carajo, which we do. This is the 11th year as a production, but we've been doing in some way, shape, or form since 2001.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Los Nutcrackers that's like running right now as we speak?
Definitely. Well, Los Nutcrackers, a Christmas Carajo, is a play that is a queer Latino holiday play. And I wrote it in 2001, and we did some readings, and then we did a production in 2004 for the first time. But I wrote it because I was going to see, I love the Nutcracker myself. I love going to sing holiday plays. And I wasn't seeing like myself reflected in them. And it's very often like queer people, sometimes with family things, we're left out of it.
Right.
So I wanted to create a play that we could be celebrated, but that everybody can come and celebrate it. So what's more fundamental than love, right? And I think when you think about the holidays, like what's more important right around the holidays is about love.
Right.
Love for family, love for friends, people showing love, right? Gift giving is all about love and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I did. So I wrote a play about a couple that really kind of had lost their love.
Okay.
Right? And so it's Christmas Eve, and what they're doing is what they always do. They fight. You don't listen to me. You always say that.
Right.
As couples,
very common, and
right.
The holidays are every time.
Right. So it takes elements of A Christmas Carol and elements of the Nutcracker and kind of mixes it in, right? And so what happens to them is they go to sleep in a sense, and a spirit comes from the queer heavens, and it takes them on a trip of their lives. But it takes them to pivotal points in their career, in their love life, I should say. So where they first met, moments where they reveal something about the other person, and then kind of the ending is kind of like, well, I'll just say the ending is open, right?
Okay.
So
Okay. Yes. Now you have to go watch the show.
But yeah, I think we've been doing it for 11 years as a production. Audiences come. They have a great time, straight, gay, black, white, Latino, the whole gamut come to it. I just put my hands up and let them come and have a good time. I don't try to figure it out. But I think ultimately, it is that. I think as a person, I find that I write about love a lot in a lot of ways, shapes, and forms,
right.
So I think that's what brings people in. People get touched. Women come to me and goes, I'm Carlos, or my husband is that, and that. Yeah, I'm Carlos in that relationship. The characters are named Carlos and Gabrielle. So they say, I'm the this or I'm the that.
Yeah.
Men too. There was actually one time we did a reading. It was really interesting because after we were doing a reading, we had some drumming that was happening afterward. One of the characters in the play is a drummer, and he's kind of like the macho, and he's kind of doesn't really take care of his partner the way in which he should take care of his partner. And so these drummers were kind of sitting around watching the show, waiting for them to go on afterward. And then they went on, and one of them came to me. He goes, yo, your play really touched me. I'm here playing a gig, and my wife's home. He goes, can I give her a call and tell her to come? I was like, tell her to come. So he went to the back, got on the phone, he called his wife. She came over. She had a ball, and it just didn't occur to him.
Yeah, to invite her.
It didn't occur to invite her.
Wow.
Along. So it was like, so it's weird. There's people who have seen the play and have said to me, I just called up an ex-lover after seeing your play. This is my ex-lover. We're friends now. So it's like I don't necessarily write a play to like change the world or that kind of things. You write a play because you want to touch people, and I'm just lucky and happy that Los Nutcrackers has done that.
I'm excited to see it. I'm going to go see it this Friday.
For your first time, yeah.
I'm really excited.
I think that's been the amazing thing about, I did the last reading of the play, which was in 2003, and then I came back this is going to be my third year playing Carlos in the actual production, and it's been such an amazing, I love the show. I mean, when I did the reading back in 2003, I was like, this show is so beautiful, and one of the things I think a good writer, I've always been told, and I agree, is that they write things that are universal, the human condition. It's like, everybody can relate to this play. Anybody who's ever been in a relationship, whether they're gay, straight, whatever nationality, anybody who's been in a long-term relationship can really relate to this play. And I think that's, again, a testament to your writing. But also the thing that's amazing for me these last 3 years is that so many of the audience members, this is literally their holiday tradition. They come every year, the way I go every year to see It's a Wonderful Life down at the IFC Center. That's one of my traditions. I own the movie. I have it on DVD. It's like playing on every cable channel, and yet I will pay $13 to see it up on the big screen at IFC. And that's the thing. People have been coming every year to see this. This is their thing, whether it's coming with their lover or coming with their friends,
their mother,
and their family. It's like it's been such an emotional. We had our first 2 shows last week, and what an incredible opening night, and the second night we had such horrible weather, but we had such a great audience. They slept out in that, and the same thing happened last year. We had a big snowstorm, and we all thought, I actually called and I was like, are we having a show tonight? Not that I was trying to get out of it, but I was like, the weather was so horrendous. We had it was like just I was like, how are people even gonna? So we all went there thinking that, and we had a packed house. We were sold out that night.
Wow, that's amazing.
I was just like, I thought the only audience members were going to be, that was the night that my mom, my dad, and my sister were coming, so I thought that was going to be our entire audience. I told them, I said, we're heading to the theater, I said, so you guys might be like the only people here because of snow. And it wound up being like a full house, and that's how loved this show is.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. So, how did BAAD come about? How was it all, how did it all start?
What started, basically, there's a choreographer named Arthur Aviles, Puerto Rican choreographer, queer, gay Puerto Rican choreographer, danced with Bill T. Jones, big, giant, contemporary dance company. But he came back home to the Bronx in like 1995, 96. And he and I met, and he wanted to, he had his dance company. And I said, let's try to develop this, because I was a fan of his. I saw him perform. And so really started as a space for Arthur and his work, for Arthur to have a space to work, because we were at a community center called The Point, and so we were there and we helped develop the programs, the dance programs there, and then we kind of got squeezed out of it, and across the street was this big kind of gigantic warehouse, and so Arthur's like, it would be great to dance in that space, and so it started out with the idea of him dancing one weekend, and we kind of cleared it out. It was like abandoned, hadn't been used, it was like pigeons were living in there. Ready to evict the pigeon, clean the pigeon poop off the floor, that kind of stuff. But that's where it started. It started really with Arthur, and then we had that performance. We knew other performers that came to see, and they were like, can I do something here? We're like, why not? So that's it. So we didn't like have a big meeting and a strategic planning session. So we're going to make BAAD a place for women, people of color, and the LGBT. But it grew from who we knew.
Okay.
Right? The first people that came to us were our friends, right? And they were like women. So we said that our first festival was Badass Women, because I said I do marketing, and it was like, okay. So Elizabeth wants to do a show. So there's Ruth Otero is doing a show, and it was at Rena, right? So instead of, nobody knows who they are. It's hard to sell them, right? But if we create a festival and we give it a snazzy name, that's a way to attract people. So we started with that. We were going to call it Bad Girls, because Arthur and I were partners at the time. We were gay and from the 70s. So we lived on the summer. It's going to be Bad Girls. And the women who are with us, they were like, we're not girls. We're women. In fact, we're badass women. We're like, okay, great, that's what we'll call it. But I think some of that is also listening to your community, listening to the people around you, and trying to honor them. So that's kind of like one of the seeds or the foundations of that, really trying to honor who we are as Latinos. Like, that's one of the things with those Nutcrackers. I think the other thing that people connect to is that how Latino and specifically Puerto Rican it is.
Yeah.
I mean, people, the culture's like, in the house music is parranda music. You serve poquito at the bar. You know,
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
so
I'm
it's
excited.
like, so it's both on stage and off stage that we're celebrating our culture, and how amazing that queer people can say, yes, I am Puerto Rican, and yes, I'm going to celebrate it with all the bells and whistles that we have and grew up with, and we're part of this as well. And so people come and they say, yeah, it is beautiful to see this story, you know, at this time, and it's like kind of more like the emotion of Christmas.
So besides writing, do you also direct the shows, or?
Well, I have directed the show. I did it last year. I'm doing it this year. I may do it next year. I don't know. Usually, it's good to bring in a different director.
Okay.
Because different directors bring a different perspective, and that's what keeps it, I think, fresh. It's good for a director to give a year or 2 or 3 into it, so they can kind of like have some fun with it and try some different things out.
Right.
And then it's good to switch, because then the next person brings in a whole different idea.
Right.
And so so that Robert's been in it for 3 years. Robert was in it. We did a reading in 2003. That was the 3rd reading before it went to production. We called him up because we totally wanted him to do it, but he was doing another show. So we were like, all right, so we had to recast it, but it took 7 years almost before he got back, but he made it back. But that's what I think, if we keep it going.
Now they have to pry me out.
But if we keep it going, it creates an opportunity. And all the actors, I mean, the characters are Puerto Rican, but it's like, you know, the Cuban, Dominican, you know, Jonathan's Mexican and Dominican, you know, so it's always been a mix of Latino actors that played in it. This year and the last couple of years, we have a drag queen helping with the transitions at Polonia Cruz. So it brings another element to it. So it's just, it's raucous and it's loving and it's, you know, and it's passionate and it's, you know, it kind of tugs at the heartstrings and hopefully at the laugh.
Yes.
You know, your laugh sets her as well. So
That's amazing.
So where can people go to find out about BAAD, to find out about all the different festivals you're having, and also to hopefully buy tickets for those Nutcrackers? Where
you could do it all on our website, which is baadbronx.org.
BAAD
BAAD with 2 A's, BAAD, Bronx.org, and our website connects you to, you know, you can see what's coming up. You can sign up on our mailing list. There's a link to go buy the tickets for the shows. We have, depending on when this airs, we have shows December 11th, 12th, and 13th, and then next week, December 18th, 19th, and 20th. All the shows are 8 o'clock except for Thursday night, and then we added a matinee on December 13th, so people can come nice and early, 2 o'clock, see the show, and go continue your Christmas shopping.
That's perfect. So what's next for you guys? What's next for BAAD?
For BAAD, we in February we have a big like 2-week celebration called Get Tough, Get Bad, and it shows films, and the films are queer, positive films. They are feature people of color. They have to have happy endings. People have to feel like yes at the end of it.
Films, I'm sorry, these are films
These
shot.
are narrative films,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So they're not documentaries, they're narrative films. It's a hard one to program because of what we require. But inside of it also we do 1 Billion Rising, and that's Eve Ensler who does the vagina monologues. On Valentine's Day there's a global party that's a dance party to stand up against violence against women. So we do that on February 14th. On February 7th we're going to have a big sweet quinceañera, Sweet 16 for BAAD. That's a part of that, and then we have Baddest Woman in March and Boogie Down Dance in May, and I like that in June. Isige,
So many events, yes, like that. So you guys gotta go to the website so you can find out all about this information and these festivals.
Yeah, and any artists out there who are interested in finding out more about maybe contributing or joining or being a part, they can reach.
Absolutely. I mean, we always do a call for submissions. We do curation, but also a call for submission. And people could submit. We always have people, the contemporary dancers, send stuff in. We do short showcases and long showcases. If people have an idea for a show they want to do, they should submit it. If it fits within our mission, that's how what we're looking for. And we love, you know, we give priority to the Bronx artists. If you're a Bronx artist, you get extra priority. And or if you're an artist of color or a woman, etc., we completely are looking for that. But yeah, so we do that, and also we're developing, and we have an artist in residency program that we're developing and beefing up, so that there's also the space for our people to develop their work, right? Because very often we get it up and we do it, and we don't have the environment outside of like MFA programs and stuff like that to develop them.
Right, that's true. So I want our viewers to get to know the man a little bit. So tell us a little bit about you. I want them to get to know a little bit about Charles.
Sure. Okay.
You don't have to get any saucy details, but you know, give us a little.
That's the fun part.
I know. So, I mean, if you want to, go ahead.
No, honestly. Let's see. I mean, I was born in Puerto Rico, but I came to the Bronx when I was a baby. So I'm like New Yorican. I love writing. I've always loved writing, you know, from like a little kid. What part of my story, if you want to say my story, is that I had my heart broken when I was 14 years old, and one of the ways I dealt with it was I wrote a novel, right? But it wasn't. It was like in whatever, like 30 pages. But yeah. But I grew up in the Bronx, you know, Puerto Rican family. My mom's one of those moms that always supported me, you know, with the things I wanted to do, even like crazy artist stuff. You know, I was like, I think I want to be an actor. She was like, good, do it. And like, you know, that lasted for like 12 minutes. I want to be a model. She sent me to Barbers on School modeling. It was like whatever little whim I wanted to do, she found a way to support it.
Right.
So I kind of grew up in that environment. But really, I grew up with a great kind of, I don't know, it's interesting, respect for the arts.
Yeah.
I had an aunt who wanted to become an artist, a dancer, a musical theater artist, but the conditions didn't exist for her to fulfill her dream, you know. I've had also other folks who were writers, but never got to do it. It was always this wish. And so for me, I feel like in terms of like my family, I felt like, let me try to do this.
You
let me
want
try
to
to
be like
do
a gateway for the people that are trying.
Yeah, no, for my family, for my community, for the Bronx. You know what I mean? The work I do is very Bronx. Like Bronx is always braided into all of the things that I do. My queerness is always braided into the thing. My Latino-ness is always braided. All those things are the common things that I include in my work. And sometimes I feel like, you know, if I made different choices, maybe it could be bigger things. But, you know, I'm 50 years old. And so I took time to look back at my life and I have zero regrets.
That's amazing.
Zero.
You look wonderful.
Thank you.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah, well, that goes what I say. It's the Latin thing. It's the Latin thing.
There's a playwright named A.B. Lugo, who you know, and he always says, honey, black don't crack, brown don't frown, and beige don't age. So I'm holding on to that.
Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us and for being a part of our
It's
show.
my pleasure.
And definitely everyone needs to go out and check out BAAD and everything that they're coming up with, especially now in the holiday season. Take your family to watch Los Nutcrackers. Thank you so much for being here today with us.
Thank you both.
Thank you for, on a personal, I just want to thank him because it's been such a pleasure to work with you over the years, where we started with Pink Jesus.
I've been a fan of this guy for years. Just so you know. I saw him in a play and I forget him. There's a whole story about it. That Pink Jesus he's talking about. So I wrote this play and I said, there's this actor. I think he would be great in this role. And I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him. And I was at an audition and somebody who was at the audition had his headshot. So I said, can I have that headshot? And he called. He said, "Oh, sure, you can have it." But then his number changed, and I'm sitting.
That flip phone change?
This is before the flip phone. All right.
I don't even know what that was. Landline.
So I'm sitting on a panel with another playwright, and I'm telling him about the play, and I said, "But there's this actor, and his name is Robert Maisonette, and I would love for him to be in it." But anyway, she said, "Well, there's other actors, but you know, you never know." And I'm sitting in this panel. I look up, and Rob walks in the door. I was like, "Oh my God, Carmen! That's Carmen Rivera, the player." I said, "That's him." Really? You better go talk to him. And I ran to him, and then the rest is history.
And like I said, it's always been. You really have touched so many lives, you know, with the work that you've done, and I've just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for allowing me to come and be a part of this, because it's you know, just such a rewarding experience. So it's a really great way to end the year as an actor, to, you know, the last 3 years, being a part of Los Nutcrackers and experience everything that I've experienced with it. It's just been awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. I feel like we should sing or something.
And this is the opening number.
Right.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm definitely super excited to go on Friday, and I'm gonna post my review on Facebook. And I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna be great. I just know it. I'm excited. So thank you guys. Bye.
All right. Bye.